I'm Ashura, and welcome to the third and final storyline in the main Azj-Kahet campaign, Plans Within Plans. To get you up to speed, we had met the Weaver, and last time we met General Anubizal, another one of the Nerubians who'd fallen out of Queen Ansurek's favor after her allegiance with Xal'atath. At his behest, we sow a little bit of chaos amongst the Nerubians' military ranks in an attempt to discredit his rival. And in doing so, we also discovered that quite a few survivors from Dalaran had been kidnapped and imprisoned in the Nerubian camps down here. So we concocted a scheme to free them and came back to the Weaver, and that's where it puts us. So let's get to it! We've received an invitation. Or rather, you have. It's a request to meet with the Vizier. That name rattles even the most wealthy and powerful figures in the City of Threads. Gaining this individual as an ally could seal our victory against Ansurek's horrid little shadow for good. You're to meet them in the burrows. Use the pheromone dispenser here in my lair to mask yourself enough to enter safely. A suspicious invitation, but a face-to-face meeting with the Vizier could be quite the boon for my little conspiracy. And of course, there's the matter of your ally. Go, see what you can unravel. Thank you, Mars. You are expected inside the first facility on your left.
Welcome. I'm Executor Ansurek, also known as the Vizier. Your willingness to meet humbles me. Keep your voice.
My friend, you made it! Sorry for the cloak and dagger. We just couldn't risk being discovered. Your fair Anduin is quite the learned one for his age. We've whiled the time with discussion of history, economics, narrative fictions, and, of course, what virtues our two cultures have in common. I wonder what similarities you'll observe yourself.
Be wary of everything.
It surprises me little to see that you've made allies amongst the Kaheti. And yes, I'm alive and well. A wry smile crawls across Anduin's face. Not too much of a shock, I hope.
Never lose hope.
I sent these invitations to you and Illyria both. I'd have bet my father's sword you wouldn't let such a unique opportunity pass you by. It's what sets you apart from us all. Illyria, however... Never mind. She's as cautious as she is assertive. I suppose I was hoping for the latter, but it's the former that's kept her alive. Perhaps she'll find us later on. For now, it's time you and my new acquaintance properly meet.
Be vigilant.
Executor Nizrek is one of Queen Ansurek's closest confidants.
Or so she surmises. You're going to be interesting.
I understand that you have not only entered into an alliance with the Weaver, but that you've also parlayed with our famed General Anubizal as well. If I were to commit my own resources, we three elderly Nerubians would make quite the formidable triumvirate. The players and the board are set. Now tell me, what game do they wish to play? The Weaver wants to take out Xal'atath and free Queen Ansurek from her influence.
Time is short. Here are pheromones that will allow you into the bazaar. Apply them. Xal'atath is a problem, to be certain, but the Queen is not being influenced. She has made a choice she believes in. The Weaver will not be pleased, but Ansurek must also be eliminated.
Back away from him, creature! Now! Listen to me and lower your bow. He's an ally. An ally? Dalaran fell because of them. Illyria, we can end this war. but not if you loose that arrow. Fine. But you best have a good explanation for this.
A just cause is always worth fighting for.
I wish we could sit down and catch each other up properly. But as always, time is never on our side.
A king is only as noble as the causes he serves.
Quite the entrance. I should replicate it in the next cabinet meeting. Nizrek amidst a cough you imagine might be a chuckle. Perhaps we should give them a private moment. Whilst we let them have it, would you hear me out on a small request of mine?
Ta-ta.
We called you here today because it is Ascendance Day. Queen Ansurek has deigned to declare it a day to revel in our newfound void-infused evolution, our ascendance. Please note my satirical nuance. While the streets are alive with festivity and joyous citizens, the shade heralds planted through the bazaar will be drowning the air with Ansurek's vile propaganda. Take this invention of mine. Use it on the heralds to overwrite them with more illuminating information for the public.
Do stop by again.
Sometimes we must fight for what we believe in.
Inviting Illyria was a risk, but even at this moment, I feel it was worth taking. I know it was. I will speak with her on my own. In the meantime, I'd like you to venture into the city above. The pheromones Nizrek gifted you will allow access into the Umbral Bazaar. Observe the merchants, listen to the conversations, purchase their goods. The city is as vibrant as Stormwind, and its people are as worthy of freeing from abuse as our own. Experience for yourself how similar we all are.
Victory in the light.
Go see who the Nerubians really are. You'll be surprised. We'll meet up with you later.
Greetings, friend. Safe
All right, Anduin. Talk. I don't expect you to understand, but I just... in that moment with the airship, maybe some part of me thought that would be enough for the light to shine on me again. That maybe if I did what my father... But the light didn't come.
His actions impressed me so much that I simply had to redirect his prison transport.
Farron told me I needed to get out of my head about everything. I think she was right. Maybe the light hasn't returned to me, but this is what I'm best at. Allying with monsters? Helping people. I'm not going to let Xalatath ruin a civilization, no matter how monstrous it appears. And you feel unworthy of the light. I still don't trust these Nerubians, but I trust you, and that's enough for now. I really feel like this is so deeply personal for Anduin when he says, I'm not going to let her ruin a civilization no matter how monstrous it appears, because he feels like that. He feels like a monster. And despite really believing in a way that he is a monster, I think there's that part of him that wants to see the good in everything and the good in himself. But it's so interesting knowing that use of the light depends entirely on your own personal belief in it, that he still can't wield it. I feel like it signifies very strongly that there's still a mental block there that he can't quite overcome, but he's getting closer between what he and Farron talked about and him being able to help the Nerubians here. He's getting closer to making it past that and fully believing that he can wield the light once and for all. He's always tried to sort of copy his father too. And I feel like the thing was that never really worked out for him. Like, he knew that he couldn't be a warrior. You know, he couldn't follow exactly in his father's footsteps. He had to be his own person. And I feel like that's an interesting moment for that. Him being like, well, I thought that if I just did what my father did, but doing what his father did has never worked out for him. He has to follow his own path. though a cold, dark mark may stain our hearts in grief for our late Queen Neferis's passing. From our newly elevated Queen Ansurek, beloved daughter of Neferis, a gloriously warm fire makes its home anew to comfort us. May her reign oversee the splendor of our children for eons to come.
The Zealots have pressed our borders with their airships. We must show them the venom of Azj-Kahet.
Queen Neferis boldly shielded our people against any threat we faced. Will Ansurek do the same?
Nope. Out of here. Me? Why? You're odd. I've never seen you before. I just want to look inside. Doesn't matter. Misk doesn't allow anyone without an invitation. Before you ask, no, you're not invited. Maybe you and I could just chat? You're making it even more interesting. Can I pet your beetles? Can I pet your beetles? If you don't take your leave, my girls might get angry. Angry or hungry. Same thing. I get the feeling we could be friends. No, why don't you leave? Tell me, Nana, who hurt you? You're all out of chances, Two Eyes. As you can see, we have quite a variety, many procured from our very own Rakush ranch to the east. Feel free to peruse the store. The little critters are friendly enough to feed yourself. I'm legally obliged to inform you that we're not liable for any lost appendages, no matter the size or number.
We will wipe out the invaders from above, no matter what it takes!
Are the old ones truly gone? Or do agents of the Void continue to manipulate us today?
Ascension, reserved only for the most loyal. The purest form of our evolution.
Purest form? Ask yourselves, do the Ascended appear Nerubian to you?
The Queen's word shall not be silenced!
Nope. Larva logs! Closing early, so get your logs now. Wait, you're closing early? Have to. Won't get a good spot in the hollows for the Queen's Ascendance Day speech. Then give me 3 beetle eggs, a larva log, and a pair of terror roasts. Order up, Yagi. Quick fry a jumbo stick, a log, and 3 beetle eggs all day. They still only sell pineapple pizza. We're here to observe and learn about Ansurek. That's all. We've observed enough. A vibrant people such as any other we've encountered together over the decades. They deserve that same peace and protection that we seek for our own. Let us vow that when forced to fight, it will always be against the source of strife, never the victims of it.
You are always welcome in Stormwind.
Over the course of time, through obedience to the light's guidance, one becomes more sensitive to its voice and its power.
A king is only as noble as the causes he serves.
Yes, the Vizier asked the same of me and the other city districts. I'll admit that my reluctance to trust Anduin's new ally has waned slightly. No more than a little finger's length, but even that is more than I anticipated.
We do what we must for those we love.
That stage in the distance is where Ansurek will give her Ascendance Day speech. You, Illyria, and I shall make our way up one of the nearby towers and observe. If we are to turn her own citizens against her, then we must also gain as much first-hand experience with our tactics as we can manage. I've already told Illyria as much, but we cannot make our presence known. If we do run into any trouble, the Vizier has arranged for a set of getaway flyers at the edge of the burrows where we first met.
You are always welcome in Stormwind.
In-game cinematic movie, The Crow's Nest. Illyria and Anduin observe the end of the Nerubian's Queen's propaganda speech from a high tower vantage point. When Xal'atath shows herself by the Queen's side, Illyria attempts to fire an arrow at Xal'atath, but it passes clean through her incorporeal body. With their position revealed and the Nerubians in pursuit, they're forced to retreat. Illyria is really becoming more and more like Sylvanas with each passing moment. And I've said this like 3 times before, but it only gets more true, that the way that Sylvanas was so relentless and ruthless in her hunt of Arthas is the same exact vibe I'm getting from Illyria hunting down Xal'atath right now. And, I think Xal'atath's winning.
They would assassinate
Our beloved queen! The Vizier left us flyers to escape with at the end of this path. The entire city is...
Attack! Stall them until the Queen's fang arrives!
The entire city is closing in. We'll need to fight our way there. Illyria, what happened back there? This isn't you. I had to take the shot. It was my chance to make up for Dalaran. For Khadgar.
But
I don't expect you to understand what I'm dealing with. But I do. I know all about blaming myself for things I couldn't possibly control. Wait, get back! Slip through and take out the commander. We'll keep that swarm at bay for you.
shield me! Protect me!
The flyers are just up ahead. Illyria, are you thinking of giving up? Giving in? I know what it's like. I can't fix things for you, but you know who you are. And I can listen if you need me. What is that?
Taste the venom of my fangs, overcrawlers.
What now? Our flyers are dead. Jump! Have you lost your... Alright, fine. Jumping it is! In-game cinematic. Illyria and Zal at the waterfall. With an army of Nerubian soldiers closing in on them, our hero's only hope for escape is to jump from the city's edge into the waters deep below. Anduin and the player jump first, but Illyria hesitates when Xal'atath shows herself. Xal'atath attempts to convince Illyria to embrace the dark path. Illyria hesitates for a moment, but quickly rejects her, escaping off the cliffside into the waters with the others. I don't like that she hesitates. Like, I'm worried. We're alive. Soaked, but alive. Let's get to shore.
For the Alliance above all.
We made it. Perhaps not as quietly as intended, but alive.
Be vigilant.
I went into the city prepared to end this war even if I was ended with it. But I am alive. As are you. As is Anduin. We have new allies and a new way forward. I realize at this moment that my vision may have been obscured by my guilt. Part of me feels those words are Anduin's, not mine. Perhaps he's rubbing off on me. Let us return to your Weaver's lair. I wish to see yours and Anduin's efforts to save these people, as well as our own through.
The shadows.
I need a moment more. We'll catch up with you at the Weaver's lair.
Use every weapon at your disposal.
Our journey down here has strained us all. Even still, the struggle has enlightened me to Anduin's character, the obstacles he's overcome, and the ones he's still working through. I'm quite impressed by one so young.
Aim true.
Okay, the stay a while and listen didn't work the first time I did it, and I guess it's still maybe not working. So we will return. Quite the ruckus you all made. I anticipated your exodus from the city would be boisterous, but you enjoy exceeding expectations, don't you? How many times were my suspicions diverted from Executor Nizrek's true identity as the Vizier? Perhaps I've lost my step. Me, a master of spycraft. Far more likely it is that he's simply much better than I give him credit for. I find myself quite stirred by the knowledge that someone's gift for subterfuge may rival my own. We shall work together quite nicely. You've brought two powerful Kaheti into our humble conspiracy and reunited with your companions. Impressive, my darling morsel. I shall reach out to the General and Vizier soon. As my primary agent in this delightful tangle of threads, I'll require your presence during this initial communique. And that's the third storyline. What comes after this is just the main endgame campaign. But we did it. We have finished Azj-Kahet. There's one small thing I want to add because it is not brought up in the main quests, but it is brought up in a little bit of side lore and some NPC dialogue. You may be wondering how the heck these Nerubians relate to the Nerubians we first met in Northrend all those years ago. And it's a very small little lore primer backdrop. The Nerubians were once the minions of the old gods. And when the Black Empire met its end, it says in Chronicle that the Nerubians had formed the kingdom of Azj-Nerub. We're not given a specific timeline here, but one of the dungeons, Arakara, is the old city. And I'm sort of under the assumption that after they basically threw off the yoke of the old gods, that maybe they founded both the kingdoms of Azj-Nerub and Azj-Kahet at the same time, or Azj-Nerub came first and Azj-Kahet a little bit later. But we learn in little bits and pieces spread throughout the zone that during the War of the Spider, which was when the Lich King and the Scourge fought against the Nerubians in Northrend, that the king there sent envoys to Azj-Kahet in order to get their help in the war. And the queen at the time, Queen Neferes of Azj-Kahet, said no. And it was because even though she thought maybe their combined forces could win against the Lich King, she did not want to lose any of her people to this war. And so she turned him down several times and then shut down the tunnels that connected these two kingdoms, as far off as they are from each other, and completely closed contact between the empires, which considering what happened to Azj-Nerub and how all of the Nerubians got turned into undead and either killed by the Lich King or by us, fair play. We'll leave it at that. So that is the story of Azj-Kahet and the Nerubians here. Thank you so much for joining me. I don't know what I'm going to tackle next quite yet. Maybe more alpha stuff, maybe older stuff. So we'll see when we see. Thank you for joining me for all of the alpha zones, and I will see you for the next one. Help! 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 Oh my god, I did this last time too. Oh no. No, this is gonna end so poorly. Help! 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 I'll be fine. I will be not fine. Very not fine. Help! I don't like it. I don't like it here. I don't like it here. I don't like it. But it's the former that's kept her alive.